NBA superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo recently made a very bold public announcement. He told the media that he's unwilling to sign an extension with the Milwaukee Bucks unless the team shows a serious commitment to winning. Still just 28 years old, it's not outrageous to think that Giannis's best playing days are still ahead of him. So let's take a deeper look at what Giannis said and what it could mean for the NBA. Before we start speculating, let's clarify exactly what Giannis told the press. The Greek superstar said in an interview that I would not be the best version of myself if I don't know that everybody's on the same page. Everybody's going for a championship. Everybody's going to sacrifice time away from their family like I do. And if I don't feel that, I'm not signing. He went on to say that he has no interest in staying on the same team for the rest of his career if he doesn't think he can win a ship. Clearly, Giannis has one priority, and that's not to be loyal. However, it's possible that the Bucks do give Giannis the best chance to win. The group has a lot of chemistry. They still have the best players from their championship season in 2021. This offseason, they paid big money to retain Chris Middleton and Brock Lopez. But will it be enough to keep Giannis? Middleton, Lopez, and Jrue Holiday, for that matter, are all on the wrong side of 30. Chris Middleton, in particular, saw his numbers fall off a cliff this past season. The All-Star wing only scored 15 points per game in an injury-plagued season. A bounce-back year from Middleton will most definitely dictate whether or not Giannis re-signs. Brook Lopez is 35 years old, and Jrue Holiday is 33. Even though they both seem to be playing at a high level, it wouldn't be shocking in the slightest to see either of them decline this season as well. Despite finishing first in the Eastern Conference during the regular season, the Bucks were bounced by the Miami Heat pretty easily in the first round of the playoffs. But instead of making major changes to the core, general manager John Horst opted to bring back a similar group of players, but bring in a new head coach. Mike Budenholzer, who was highly criticized for his lack of adjustments in the playoffs, got the boot after recently leading his team to a ship. His replacement will be Adrian Griffin, a former assistant for the Toronto Raptors. Will Griffin's influence be enough? It's very tough to say. The fact is that the Bucks are still one of the most talented teams in the league as long as Giannis remains, and they definitely got about as unfavorable a matchup in history as a first-seeded team. The Miami Heat are legit. Still, the Bucks could falter again, and if so, Giannis could be out the door as soon as next offseason if he demands a trade, or if the Bucks don't want to risk losing him for nothing. But if Giannis does leave, where would he likely end up? One possibility is that Giannis could end up getting traded to or signing with the New York Knicks. Not only does the team have a huge fan base that Giannis could be marketed to, but they also have trade assets, a flexible cap structure, and a competitive team. If Giannis joined the Knicks, he would quickly earn celebrity status that would likely propel himself to billionaire status in the next decade if he makes smart moves. The Knicks had Jalen Brunson, who's emerging as a star point guard in the NBA. His playing style and age make him an ideal candidate to be paired with Giannis. The Knicks have other talented players on their roster, including Julius Randle, R.J. Barrett, Josh Hart, Emmanuel Quickley, Quentin Grimes, and Mitchell Robinson. They could potentially trade a combination of those players and picks to the Bucks for Giannis and still have the pieces to compete. Or if they're patient, the Knicks could sign Giannis as a free agent in 2025 and have even more flexibility to manage the rest of their assets and stay under the cap. The addition of Giannis to the Knicks would likely propel them to contender status. Giannis has described himself as the best role player in the league. Obviously, the two-time NBA MVP is amongst the biggest stars in the world, but when he said that, it was acknowledging how he does all the small things in order to win. Giannis isn't a perimeter scorer or a fancy dribbler. He relies on his elite athleticism, footwork, and skills to dominate on both ends. He's among the best defenders in the league, is elite on the interior, can rebound with the best of them, and is an advanced passer as well. With Giannis on their roster, the Knicks would most definitely have a chance to win multiple titles. Though the Knicks would most definitely be an appealing option for Giannis, other teams offer great opportunities as well. Imagine if Giannis signed with the Dallas Mavericks. He would be paired with Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. Luka and Giannis wouldn't just be the best pair in the league, they would develop into one of the best pairs of all time. Giannis already won a championship in Milwaukee, so he doesn't have to be concerned about a narrative about how he was incapable of winning one on his own. Instead, he could play the back half of his career in Dallas and put together a resume that could cement him as a top 5 player of all time. It may seem far-fetched now, but look at Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He had 1 ring in Milwaukee before winning 5 more in LA. Giannis and Luka have a playing style that complement each other perfectly. Luka draws so much attention on the perimeter that teams wouldn't be able to constantly double Giannis inside. And what Luka lacks on defense, Giannis would more than make up for. Keep in mind, we're barely even mentioning Kyrie Irving, whose playing style would fit perfectly. Giannis wouldn't take anything away from Luka and Kyrie because of his playing style. He would only supplement them. From a business perspective, Giannis would get plenty of opportunities and mentorship from team owner Mark Cuban. The combination of all factors could lead to an epic dynasty in Texas. Giannis on the Mavs is fun to imagine. But what if he opted for another Texas-based organization? What if he signed with the San Antonio Spurs in free agency? The Spurs would have a new set of twin towers that could actually be greater than the Tim Duncan-David Robinson pair. With Victor Wembanyama joining the Spurs, they'll most definitely get a lot of media attention. The business opportunity will be there, and the organization knows how to win. Still led by head coach Greg Popovich, the Spurs know how to make the most of the talent they have available. And could you imagine if they signed Giannis? They could be amongst the best defensive teams ever. Wemby and Giannis would pose an imposing threat that would prevent teams from getting any easy buckets. On offense, Wemby could actually be a great fit with Giannis as well. We know he loves to score from both the perimeter and the interior. With Giannis finding him inside and kicking it out to him, it's easy to imagine they would be an incredible pair. It's clear that Giannis would be a free agent with the capabilities of shifting the power dynamics of the NBA. Recent examples of players that leveraged that power were LeBron when he signed with Miami and Kevin Durant when he signed with Golden State. Whether or not Giannis opts to build a super team is yet to be seen, but we will definitely be keeping a close eye on the Milwaukee Bucks this season, as their performance will dictate the next era of NBA basketball. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, then hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more great content.